Welcome back to the show. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV. It's time for the breakfast review. And the usual suspects have taken their seats. Wilberforce Asari is head of, is political editor with Asasi Radio. The senior suspect himself, Audu Mahama, is managing editor for the Custodian newspaper, and the deputy suspect, Ibrahim Al-Assad, is head of political desk here at the IB. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good to have you, my usual suspects.
Good
Good to
morning.
have you
Good morning.
here, especially given the day we find ourselves. In fact, we should have introduced you
I know.
instead of introducing us on the show. So happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
We pray for long life
Thank you.
good health and prosperity. And good luck as well, because on this continent you need it. You need luck.
Yes,
You need luck.
we need a lot of luck.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
To manage, because we become managers. Yeah.
Yes.
So happy birthday to you as well.
Thank you.
Today is also the 4 years anniversary of Asasi Radio where I work.
Okay, happy birthday to you as
So
well.
happy birthday to Asasi Radio as well.
yeah.
That's
And happy
nice.
birthday to you, Lily.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Thank
Happy birthday, Lily.
Thank you.
Stay blessed, and may God give you good health,
Amen.
long life,
Amen.
and all that you desire in life.
Amen. That's very important.
He actually shared birthday with a very good friend of mine who also works at Asasi Radio, Caleb Ahinakwa.
Oh, okay.
Caleb was not too well, but he's recovering now. So if he's listening, happy birthday to you,
To
Caleb.
him.
And you share birthday with the beautiful
The
Lily.
beautiful
Mohammed.
Lily. The beautiful
Thank you.
Lily.
Thank you. Happy
happy.
birthday to you,
Be happy.
my fellow birthday celebrant.
Yes,
And
definitely.
happy birthday to Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Pius Salam
MPA
Hamid.
boss. MPA
Oh,
boss.
okay.
Yeah. Happy
They
birthday,
equally
bro.
celebrate
You know,
their
the
birthdays
number
too.
14 is
Sheikh,
special
happy
to
birthday.
me
Okay.
because I'm also born on the 14th day, but on the month of April.
April. Okay.
wow.
Okay.
14 is a very special day for me.
For you.
See,
14.
the number
The number 14.
I am a February born. You know, we love people.
I know.
Yeah, love.
I
yeah.
know. Yeah,
Okay,
it's a month of love.
Yeah, for me, we lock the door. I'm a December born.
Yes.
I'm a December born, so
We
we
actually lock the door.
We lock the door, and then it's over.
Well, let's go into the subject matter for this morning. There are a number of issues to discuss. Key on the agenda is the issue of national security. Speaker Bagwin says, do not deploy the military on election day. Allow the police to work. If for anything at all, the military can come in as reinforcement. We also had the Amenfi East PC for the NPP make inciting comments against soldiers, for minors to beat up soldiers when they are confronted, and whether or not this speaks to issues that are really in the system that they did not come to bear. Because if we did not have this video, obviously we wouldn't have heard what this man said. And it doesn't also suppose that there are a number of these comments being passed by people who are supposed to know better in the political arena. Let me start with you, Wilberforce.
I thank you very much. And you know, the speaker's call, when I heard it, I was a little bit worried.
Why?
I was a little bit worried because traditionally, when it comes to issues in our country that threatens the territorial integrity of the country, you have always seen that there's been collaboration between the police and the military. Even the fight against Galamsey, there was a collaboration between the military and the police. There are times that we are threatened. You know, if you go to our borders at the top of our country, that 500 and something kilometer stretch of a border between us and Burkina Faso, there is an ongoing collaboration between the military, the police, and the immigration to make sure that we keep our borders safe and don't have infiltrations from terrorists who are operating in and within Burkina Faso and what have you. So collaboration between the police and the military at critical times has always been what we as a country have adopted. Election is a critical time in the life of any country, particularly our country, Ghana. And so, of a necessity, there's going to be collaboration between the police and the military. The police are responsible for the interior. The military are responsible for protecting the territorial integrity of the country. So they might not necessarily be involved in the interior, but their activities also help to protect the interior. Because if you are
They
able to
forestall whatever.
Yeah, what is infiltrating, yes. And so, quite frankly, towards election 2024, as has been in other elections that at least I have witnessed, there's going to have to be collaboration between the two security institutions to maintain the security of the state. And it is not something that can be overemphasized.
No.
So I find the pronouncements and the rationale behind the pronouncements as being quite difficult. And if you talk to any security analyst, they will tell you that for someone like the speaker, when it comes to something like this, he needs to go slow on it. He needs to go slow on it because there are various factors that go into the kind of security that we provide at all material times, looking at the situation. There are in Ghana, you can find civilians who are protected by the military. In Ghana, you can go to. I have been to the home of a civilian, not a politician. He's a civilian, an ordinary Ghanaian, but a business person. And in his house, he had 2 military officers who had been detailed to offer him protection in his house. And they are arranged. So the authorities, authorities know if you give the reasons why you need this support and all that. So I think that, and the election ahead of us is a critical one. It's a critical one because one political party has been in office for 8 years and is seeking to renew the mandate by what they call breaking the 8. The other political party, who has also been in power before, has been in opposition for 8 years and is seeking to come back. They are seeking to come back with someone who has served as president before. And the ruling party is seeking to stay in office with a candidate who is the 7th vice president. So it is a critical election, and the security of the interior is so important that, quite frankly, I would expect that people in high offices, high places like the speaker, will leave the security architecture of the country to figure out how they are going to maintain the security of the state.
No.
So I'm not in the position to advise the speaker. I'm one small boy be sitting by somewhere, and I cannot be sitting on television attempting to advise the speaker. But I just
he has a position you don't.
Yeah, I don't have a number. Yeah. So I want to think that when it comes to issues of security of the state, by the grace of God, we are blessed with security people, and these security people from both sides. You'll be surprised that the current security officials who are in charge of our security, you'll be surprised that they have a lot of contact with people who might be in the opposite side from where you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Because to maintain security, you cannot do it one-sided.
No.
You need to look at all sides. That's the only way you can maintain security of the interior, because both sides exist in the same space you are trying to protect. So when it comes to security matters, I think that those who are not in the security circles should just keep quiet. Let's allow the people in the security circles. Let's trust in their capability. We all have sat here and say we trust the IGP. He's up to his task. The military has a new CDS Pepra. Very astute military officer, has served the military many years. So the experience is there. They have and know what it takes to protect the security of this country. So let's leave it to them. Let's not infiltrate their space. It is not safe for us, especially when it is the politicians who are infiltrating the space. And I'll connect this to the Amenfi East situation. I think that that member of parliament,
he's a
parliamentary candidate. He has had occasion to attempt to clarify what he said, which is always good to bring clarity to something you said that may not have gone well with people. But fundamental is the fact that he was heard actually saying that attack military officers. me, I would never subscribe to anybody who makes an attempt to attack the military. Never. Never ever, because if you attack the military, particularly when you are civilian, you are setting yourself up for disaster. So, quite frankly, I think that it is good that he has brought clarity going forward. He should be minded not to make such statements. And now that we are condemning the Amenfi East parliamentary candidate for the MPP, let's be mindful. Let all others be mindful, because Amenfi East is only one of the places where there is mining taking place. There are several other places. So we condemn one today. Let the rest be mindful that, look, don't go this route, especially when we are 6 months to the elections. After June, this country will go into a frenzy when it comes to elections. Everything will be about elections.
Yeah.
So let's be careful with our rhetoric. A lot is going to be said. Hey, this last 6 months in our country,
Yes.
you be cancer.
Oh, yes. From all quarters,
Yeah.
you hear chiefs, you hear political actors, you hear non-state actors, you hear all sorts of
Everybody.
comments
Yeah.
from everybody,
Yeah.
market women, everybody. The politicians will equally make their comments, the flag bearers will make their comments. So we hear a lot, and we'll see a lot of things.
Yeah.
We'll see a lot of videos of steering wheel
Yeah.
and those wielding keys and all that.
I remember from during Kufuor's campaign time, one of the adverts that made the rounds a lot was the advert that was draft. They were playing draft. Do you recall that advertisement?
yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah, too.
Dummy,
Dummy.
yeah.
Yeah. So, like, things are going to happen. So I'm just cautioning.
Yeah.
Let's be patient. I rest my case.
Okay, cancel. I'll do.
Let me say good morning to cherished viewers. He made this statement on the floor of Parliament.
Welcome address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frankly, I do not know. I don't know the basis for which he has made this demand. I don't know. In elections, we have something called National Election Security Task Force over the years. A National Election Security Task Force comprises the police, the military, immigration, fires, all the security agencies. They come together to form that task force. It is always headed by the IGP.
Yeah.
Its task force is always headed by IGP. And it is always for intelligence ahead of election and then during and after, intelligence gathering, monitoring, and all that. So the military does not actually involve directly in the polling station monitoring of elections, security of elections. I do not. You have voted for some time now. Do you see military people standing at polling stations?
No.
You don't see them. So the security task force is formed for intelligence gathering, because all manner of things happen before, during, and after elections. So that task force is supposed to coordinate information, because they are, as he said, they are protecting the integrity of this country, and territorial integrity of this country. There's possibility of people infiltrating into this country during elections. And because they are policing the borders and all that, they have vital information that they share.
Yeah.
And that is why this security task force is formed. They are not directly involved in police station policing of handle. They are not. It is only when it is critical, when there's confusion somewhere, and the police is not able to manage the internal security, then they are called upon to
Yeah, just for
assist.
reinforcement.
Reinforcement. That is all. So I do not see why the basis for which that this military should stay away. I do not see. I don't know. If it is about what happened in Tachimasa, were military people involved?
Yeah, it
Yes.
was actually the military that did that.
Okay.
30 months out.
So this is my take. I have said that, look, I do not see why political parties or a political party will always call supporters to mass at a coalition center. Look, if you are a political party with your soul, and you have coalition agents At least if you even have brilliant SS
If
people.
you have trusted.
Trusted,
and
brilliant,
intelligent,
and
yeah.
intelligent. At least if somebody completes even senior high school, and the person is trusted, intelligent, and all that, you take 3 of them, 3 people, if the number required is 3, and you take them into that room where it's just a matter of adding the polling station results that every political party had. I don't see why you should incite supporters to be at those centers.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Does it mean you don't trust the people you have entrusted to be in the collation room? This has always been a problem. You look at where there have been confusion. It is a massing of people. That people go on radio to announce that political party supporters should be at a polling collation center because somebody is trying to cheat. Look, what will be the effect? What will be this thing of those people outside the room? Are they going to enter the room to add the figures? What would be the need for them to amass there? If you don't have trusted people to collate your results for you, just additions, common additions. If you don't have trusted people to do that, what would the mass people, what would they do for you? And that's when they go, some of them unfortunately carry weapons. And they attack security people. Yeah. And I have always said, my father was a military officer, Second World War veteran. And one military, and my family, I had more than 12 people in the military. 12 people from my family, my uncles and all that. And me, myself, I was supposed to take over from an uncle who died, who was shot in the military by his peers. And I was supposed to replace him in the military. But I saw what my father, my family went through in the military. I vowed that I will not join that force. What they don't like is to say that for a civilian to treat them like they are also civilians. They are like, massa.
Like an non-entity.
Like non-entity. Military, they will show you where power lies.
Yes.
So dare not.
And even in the statement by the Ghanaian Armed Forces, he stated that they are equally human. And
Yes.
so when you attack them, they will retaliate.
You remember what happened at Tema East recently?
Yes.
They issued a simple statement. This is just a first warning. And they were saying that if you're a man, come again. That's how the military. So the military, and it's just the most, and one of the most disciplined, in fact, I would say, they say that they are the most disciplined security agency in this country. And if you don't attempt to challenge their authority or you don't attack them, they will never attack you. They are so disciplined. Their disciplinary code is so clear. It's so stringent that if you joke as a military person, you lose your job. So I do not actually see the basis for this call at all. The military will continue to assist when it is necessary, and I know they will do that because I said the IGP is always in charge. He heads that election security task force, and he's always in charge. And if there is anything, they are accountable to him. They are accountable to him. And so I don't know. And what has always been done will be done. But my advice, I have told my people, I was born in Sabo Zongo. I've told my people that if they tell you to mass up at collation centers and anything happens to you, if you are maimed, I will never visit you. If you are in the hospital, I will not. Because all those politicians who incite people to gather there, you never see their kids at those centers.
Thank you.
Some of their kids are all over the place, globetrotting. They live at posh hotels when they travel. They stay outside. Some of them, their kids are not even in this country. And yet they incite you.
And even those who live in this country, they live in very posh
In posh places. You live in Sabon Zongo, where even when you are eating, you get a bit of, and you want to follow these people who are living comfortably. They maim you. What happened to all the people who are maimed? What they do is they organize something small for you, so they will take care of your case and all that. And that is the end of it. You suffer throughout. If you have left kids behind, your kids will suffer. They will continue to be used, because they will not be educated well, they will continue to be used as political pawns. And that's what these politicians do. And if you are, I tell my people, if you really want to also live a comfortable life, be wise. Don't follow these self-seeking politicians. People who want to, look, we all know what, anyway. So my advice is that, my advice is that if they say you should mass up at any collation centers, please don't go. because they have representatives at those centers who collate their results for them. If they cannot collate their results for them, then they have no business contesting this election. Now to my God, very good. I don't know him anyway. The PC for Amenfi is
Yes.
look. We all know, and this I have said. I've been noted that if we want to succeed in Galamsey fight, the two major political parties will have to be committed to it. If you have one party fighting in another party encouraging in both sides, you will never fight Galamsey. You will never succeed. And that's what we are experiencing now. Because whilst one party is saying this, the other one is saying the one thing, a different thing. So you cannot tell people to attack military people, even if you say they are fake. They are fake military people. What you do is that when people are engaged in illegal activities, you report such people to the relevant authorities, particularly the police. That's what you do. You don't call on people to attack people when they are there. And I think it is also a wake-up call to the security, the military outfit, hierarchy, that please also monitor your people. And we hear reports of military men actually harassing legal miners, legal small-scale miners on their concessions. And military should also take keen interest in what their officers do. But the call is not to let your people attack them when they go there. Report to them if you think that they are engaged in any illegal activity. Thankfully, I heard him, as you said, on another station, saying that he said fake. But as I said, it doesn't matter. Even if it is fake, report the person
because
to
the people will not be able to
know who is.
Once
How are you
somebody
going to
leaves an
even going to
account,
identify?
yes.
How are you going to identify who is a fake soldier, especially when they are in uniform?
A potential lawmaker should not be telling
Should not
people
be
to take the law into their
into
own
your
hands.
own hands.
Yes.
It is unlawful. Fortunately, I heard him. He apologized, and he apologized for.
He was arrested. He's been granted bail.
Okay, he apologized on radio and said that I think he went too far, and we should take it. Nobody should encourage what he did. Yeah.
Well, so Lily also, Speaker. Okay, so Speaker said what he said in the contest, and let's address our minds to that contest. He was talking about an initiative that Parliament is leading to engage the heads of all the constitutional bodies, SHRAJ, NCC, EC, among others, including Ghana Police Service. When he got to Ghana Police Service, he emphasized that, especially the police, because we don't want to see the military at polling stations or voting centers. Yes, there is a security task force headed by the IGP, because elections are held internally, and protection of law and order internally is the responsibility of the police. So that is understandable. The military, of equally part of the task force. What has happened over the years is that in certain areas, I was in Ewutu Senya East for the 2020 election. That's where I reported from. Every polling station I went to, in the name of patrols, you see uniformed military men and a woman who was holding a cane. And whoever voted in Ewutu Senya East will bear testimony to this fact, threatening to cane everybody, including an observer who wanted to take a picture of what was happening, including the military people there. Because some of them didn't want the identity to come out. Why? Some of them were actually hooded. Why? So that is the point, that even though we say that the military should only provide a backup support, what happens on election day is entirely different. They come in the name of patrol in their vehicles, and they sometimes intimidate people and create confusion. 8 people died during the 2020 elections. I dare say none of those bullets came from the police. None of those bullets came from the police. They came from the military.
Could we then say that it was at the point of reinforcement?
It couldn't have been, because what were the problems that were happening? What were the challenges that the police could not attend to? Wilberforce related to the military providing bodyguard services. The law allows at least 2. The president, the vice president, for military bodyguard services.
Yeah,
that's what the law allows.
The speaker
the
himself,
law-
Unfortunately, I'm
speaker
coming.
himself was guarded by the military.
Oh, I'm coming.
I don't
But
know-
that
I
was
don't know about that
why
law.
were the soldiers withdrawn? The soldiers were withdrawn citing the same reason that the speaker was not entitled to military protection. Were you not in this
Because
country?
it
why
was a
were they
breach of the
given to
law.
him the
That's the
first place?
point. So you are emphasizing the point I'm making, right? But what we've seen is that we have attorney generals who are also bodyguarded by the military. We have chairpersons of electoral commissions bodyguarded by the military.
That's true.
Right? We have ministers bodyguarded by the military. We have cheapened our military, and that's the point. In fact, there's a caution from security analysts in this regard that for bodyguarding work, that's the last thing that we should reduce our military to. We are there. Now the military are deployed and they're actually armed. And mind you, I agree, the military is in charge of protection of our territorial integrity and protecting the country from external aggression. The military is not trained to be peacemakers. And this is explicit. A military man can never be a peacemaker because to them it's do before complain. To them it's use force and use force to restore whatever that has been broken. So we should limit the interface between the military and the civilians. It's basic everywhere. That's why go to any civil country and find out whether military will be parading the streets on election day. No. Their security, that businessman who had business engagement to the extent that he needed security, you cannot tell me that our police are so incompetent and they don't have firepower, even though they are allowed to hold weapons, to provide security to that businessman. But you see, it's perception. We are all made to perceive the fact that when you have military protection, then you are secure. Because they have much more firepower and they are no-nonsense people. That's true. But there are rules. That should be the job of the police. See, all the speaker is saying is that let's limit the usage of the military on election day, either at the voting center or at the collation center. I agree that people have no reason to go and mass up, but they always mass up when they have suspicions, and you cannot take that away from them. No, that's the reality. See, in the name of transparency, that's why we don't send polling stations
We should not allow
to
this
rooms.
kind of lawlessness.
No, I'm coming. It's not lawless, my brother. Unless you become rowdy, unless you throw stones, gathering to observe processes is not an illegality anywhere. Where did that become illegality? It's not. In any case, it actually helps to sanitize the process and give it much more credibility. That when we're counting, why do you think when electoral officers are counting, they say 1, 2, 3? It's for transparency purposes. They actually encourage that. And per the laws of the EC, when voting is done and sorting is about to begin, they say go there and observe. They say after voting, you are encouraged to go home. But after polls have closed, come and observe. That's massing up. And that's legitimate. It's allowed. The point we're making is that whatever process we have to deploy to ensure that 8 people do not die needlessly just because we are going to choose a leader, we should deploy them. You heard Palgrave Boachi Dankwa yesterday on the same platform in your engagement with him. He mentioned that, yes, he disagrees that the military should not be deployed. But if it becomes necessary for the military to be deployed, they shouldn't be armed. And I think I agree with him. The military, many a times, are very trigger happy.
Okay.
Things they can stop, problems they can solve with their hands, they want to solve with weapons.
Let me just make an intervention and to ask that there is something in security circles that they call assessment.
Exactly.
And you assess all situations. And based on the assessment that you make as a security person, you want to say that, okay, I need this level of security in a particular situation. So, for example, you talked about the EC chair. The EC chair, since he took office, has had her own share of attacks
It didn't start today.
It,
Exactly.
it didn't start today.
Charlotte
Charlotte
did.
Charlotte
Even
So
even
when-
Afarijan.
Yeah. So when persons who are responsible for security do their assessment about that individual, they realize that okay, so there's heightened attention on this particular person, and they put certain security detail around the person, not for purposes of attack, but for purposes of deterrent
And protection.
and protection. So you will see that somebody has a military detail. His military detail is not so that he will shoot and kill anybody who comes around him. First of all, it acts as a deterrent for anybody who wants to come and attack such a person. Once you see that, okay, look, this person has this kind of security, you back off. So the first thing that the security person wants to achieve is that deterrence.
All right.
Once he achieves the deterrence, then all other things will follow.
Like
I get you. I get you.
Yeah, so
But
assessments
what I'm
are
saying
very
is that
important.
The assessment can be done, and that's why we have different types of units in the police service. We have formed police unit. We have SWAT. We have different. In fact, when President Kufuor came, he created a unit under the Ghana Police Service, and they were training people just for bodyguard services. If you remember, when he left office, the service was stranded as to what to do with those people. So you can't do that. The point we are making is that limit the usage of the military. Given our history as a country, the last thing you want to do is be bringing the military much more closer to us than they should be. And
Because that's what we've done
they-
with the police.
Yes. They are supposed to be
so
our friends.
a lot of people see the police and they're unbothered.
Yeah.
I want to say something. This massing up because that's
No, I'm
something.
coming. Okay. Let me end on there.
Okay,
Galamsey
because
thing.
this is
Let me
something
end
that
on
has
the
been
Galamsey
bothering
thing.
me.
But-
Why people should be massing up police?
hold on, let
when
him
he
land.
lands.
Yes. So on the Galamsey thing. Okay, so two things happened during this engagement. So Ernest Frimpong spoke, the MPP PC for Amenfi East, and then also Ochedaku Mensah, the Western Regional Minister, spoke. I think they announced a policy decision to all of us that we didn't know. And that policy decision is that government has disbanded all the task forces.
Yes.
So Operation Halt, Operation
Galamstop.
Galamstop, and what have you. They've been disbanded. I would have wished that it came from a centralized point.
But you know, yesterday, Palgrave, who is a spokesperson on governance and
Yeah.
security, said it is not true.
Exactly. We are getting conflicting signals in that regard. So, on the one breath, the regional minister is telling us that all those operations have been halted.
Who sits as the chair of the security in that region?
Exactly.
So he is privy to security information.
In Western region, which is a mining hub,
Yes.
and he knows. So, and it's been more than a week. No centralized communication from government. With the exception of what Palgrave
said yesterday.
said. We expect to hear
Padre, what is his? He's
his
supposed to-
government
government
spokesperson
spokesperson
on governance and
And
security.
security.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Good. So that's where the challenge is. So we're getting conflicting signals.
Seriously.
So you put that aside and then listen to what the parliamentary candidate said. And it's heartwarming that he says on another network he had apologized. We gave him that same opportunity on Morning Star. He didn't apologize.
He didn't apologize.
He didn't see anything
he
wrong
only,
with what he said.
he only sought to say that, well, I was referring to legal minors
Exactly.
and not illegal
But
minors.
he ought to know that we don't wash our face upwards. Right? You can't. That's one thing with our politicians. When they goof, they fail to realize that I goofed, I got it wrong, I apologize. Right? And remedy the situation. It would have saved all of us a great deal. Because, first of all, he accused us of putting out information that
Yes,
was wrong.
that
When
was
I say
fake,
us,
yes.
I mean EID
Yeah,
network.
yes, because we put out the
information first.
Exactly. Then we had to come out with the video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the pushback is that, oh, I was only referring to legal minors. Will you want a platform, a WhatsApp platform to be created with the regional minister on that platform? Would you, as a parliamentary candidate on that platform, and ask the minors to send you audio onto the platform whenever soldiers come to their side, if they are engaged in legal activities? Will you do that? Which soldier will be deployed without the knowledge of the regional minister
Exactly.
if they are engaged in legal activities? And in the same audio, you talk about the fact that when soldiers come on patrol and they are going, they can give them 300 cities, they can give them 500 cities, they can give them 1,000 cities. That's legal patrol. But if any other soldier comes to stop them, because the authority giving them to visit the site to stop Galamsey has been taken away, and that's the disbandment of the Galamsey and task forces. They should, if they hit them, they should beat them. They should not look at their uniform. And if you come back, instead of you just admitting and conceding that,
he should be called upon.
Yes. And he tell us that their authority has been withdrawn. It's good, the military, even though the statement was, in a way, cowardice, so to speak, because the statement didn't even mention the parliamentary candidate. The statement didn't even mention the said meeting and what utterances were made there. The statement generally said that people should desist from inciting the public against the military.
But is that not enough, Ivy?
It's not enough. Because
the
even before the statement
came, person too.
Even before the statement came, one of their own had been attacked by Wasa.
In the same region.
Same region. He could have been killed. Since when did our military begin to shy away from calling people out? And indeed, in the same statement, the military could have told us as whether they are still involved in the fight or not. They didn't. Is the military involved in the Galamsey fight as we speak today or not? The military should tell us. The point we're making is that, and I agree, that both political parties must collectively ensure that this decadence, this rape of our environment ends, because we won't have tomorrow to rule over if we continue the way we are continuing. We are here lamenting about declining our fortunes of our cocoa owing to Galamsey. We are here talking about the amount of money we use in treating water. Galamsey. We are here talking about the depletion of our forest reserve. Galamsey. We've actually now, through the Act of Parliament, an ally, giving people the free license to enter forest and mine. Just a few years ago, that was a sacrilege to enter forest and mine. But now we are saying that no, if you get the needed license, go into forest and mine. I don't know what informed that. How much money do you need? What is it that we need? What are we going to use those resources for? Now that immediately we need to dissipate our forest reserves in the name of mining. Let's look back and collectively say that NDC, MPP, whatever, we need to protect our environment. It's as basic as it is. It's good he's been arrested. We all know it went nowhere. You know it went nowhere. But at least
he's been granted bail.
Yeah, we're taking the boxes. It's okay.
I like the way he said he talked about politicians. Because see, what we experienced in 2020 was when you had a certain president being pressured by pressure groups to fight Galamsey. And then you had a former president who wanted to come back to office saying that when I come, I would allow you to do Galamsey. That was the height of the craziness. And the election results of 2020 reflected that call that was made by this former president, because all the people in the mining communities, if you assess the election results,
they either voted against or refused
would
to
have
vote.
voted for a certain, traditionally vote a certain direction. But because of this Galamsey position, they voted a different way. And it clearly reflected. So if we are going to fight Galamsey and we are going to take the politics out, then Ibrahim's call must be listened to from all sides.
I agree, but another reason was the burning of excavators.
That's another topic.
People spoke
Let me
and
speak
now we've
about
all seen the light.
Let me
they are
speak.
moving forward. We should stop burning excavators.
I am still in support of the burning of the
okay.
Galamsey. I am.
Wow,
And
so
I
you're
am. One
telling
day, probably we'll come and speak about Galamsey, fight
proper.
against
Galamsey,
Galamsey.
yeah.
One day we'll have a topic on that.
Yeah.
About this massing of party supporters. There's a good reason why elections are held in the open, and there's reason why elections are collated in a closed door. There are good reasons. When elections are held in the open, as you said, when, how do you call it, election is over, people are allowed to come back and at a distance monitor the counting.
Yes.
That's why you hear the 1, 2, 3 and all that. And when they finish, all this is put on paper, what we call the pink sheet. And each political party or any rep of, if it's an independent candidate, is given the pink sheet, a copy.
They have to actually sign.
They have to sign. If you don't sign, if you don't sign, it's irrelevant. But each political party, whether you sign or not, you are given a copy. A disease copies that all political parties, if you're a political party worth your salt, as I say, before you even get to the collation center, you should have your collated figures. You should have your collated figures. So what is this thing about people should amass because your party is being cheated? What are they going to do there at the collation center? It doesn't make sense to me.
At all.
Why? You have brilliant people who are representatives who are just going to do ABCD, add figures. And you are asking mass people you're supposed to mass there. What are they going to do? You go there and some people actually go there with cutlasses, stones and all. What does it, why? Which sinner society do you see this? Which civilized country? You were talking of civilized countries. Which civilized country will you see that happening? In fact, I have said that our electoral system is the most transparent throughout the world. It is the most, not even United States.
Hey.
And you see, one day, look, I am saying this because of experience I've gone through in elections. Look, let me tell you.
Are you measuring that?
I am very serious on this matter that our electoral process is the most transparent, especially from election day, the processes that political parties go through to declare results. It is not happening in any country where every stage of every political party, from printing, from everything, you have reps there. So if you are a political party that you cannot have trusted people to police a ballot for you, you have no business being in politics. That's why I'm saying this business about, you know, I am pained because almost all the people who mass up there are my people. Me and Ibrahim. These are the Zongo people.
Well, my people too.
You are your people too.
And over forces people.
It's my people.
So what
They are
is
our
this?
people.
They are my special
this?
people now. Yeah.
Look, if they are massive, everybody agrees that they should mass up there, those heads, the secretaries of the political parties, the chairpersons, the flag bearers, some have plenty kids. Let them send their kids to go and monitor if that is what they want. And not to call innocent people to go and lose their lives. Why?
And ironically, a number of them send their children out before elections.
Before elections, that is the most. Charlie, this morning, this mass. Look, I am always livid when it comes to this mass, calling people to mass up at collation centers.
If you listen to Ibra, if you listen to Audu, what I am hearing Audu say is that he's putting himself in the shoes of his own people.
Yeah.
With the kind of exposure that he has, he's wondering why his own people will be his own people will be so vulnerable and be at the mercy of these politicians. Because he's looking at himself.
They have killed somebody at Blekuma Central where I voted. Look, I've told you that I have voted in this country since 1992. Lily Emenya Kodasa. I have voted since 1992. And I've seen the way our electoral processes have gone through. When we have opaque ballot boxes throughout, transparent.
It has evolved.
As I said today, I didn't even know what I used in voting in 92. Because we didn't even have a valid register. We used a district assembly election register to do. There was no proper register we used in 1992. We had this opaque. In fact, some people even claim that when they entered, the first person said when he entered, the ballot box was already full. We had all this. We had gone through these processes in this country. And we have cleaned our electoral. Look, every process, every election process.
And now we have digitalized every step. Yeah.
So why would people, common sense, why would you, adding of figures will lead to death of people?
In 2012, we went to court that a party was cheated. In 2020, we went to court that a party was cheated, meaning there's that possibility.
Yes,
that a party
but what you also need to know, I agree with you. But if you look at 2012, 2013 petition and the unintended consequences that have arisen after that process, and again 2020, 2021, and you look at what has arisen, all of those processes have contributed to the kind of system we have. Such that today, yes, as of today, you see, when we recently did our voters registration exercise, how many new people registered? Almost 1 million people.
Yes.
Just voters registration exercise over a period of 3 weeks. Yeah. So all I'm just saying is that, see, this our electoral system over the last 30 years of our experiment, or 32 years now of our experiment, has so evolved that we have gotten to the place where it is very difficult for the chairperson of the Electoral Commission to sit at her office
where the final
just
And
across
manipulate.
here
I'm not sure anybody has said that.
and determine who
Yeah,
becomes
who-
president of
said that.
Ghana.
Oh no.
People have said
No,
that.
see, everybody has said that.
Let me.
During the voting process. And let me tell you what happens. And you see, we are all journalists. We know this. There is manual verification, there's electronic verification. If we are able to
If you want to turn
administer only electronic verification, right? Only electronic verification, then the argument they are making will make sense. But here we are with a system that makes use of both, because it's not everybody who can be verified electronically. Good. If you are verified manually, there's that possibility that somebody might vote rather than you. And that possibility is there. And it takes place at the polling station. So I agree that you need trusted polling agents. But vigilance can never be taken away from an election. So if people want to be vigilant without being violent,
what are
listen
the
to me.
agents supposed to do
Listen
there?
to me.
I have been
If
a party
people-
agent
people
before
want
for
to be
2
vigilant,
elections.
If people want to be
Me.
vigilant, allow them to be. But what we will not support is people being violent. And I'm saying that when people want to become violent, the police are well equipped to deal with them. Simple. How difficult should this
If
be?
you are talking of massing up people
police can deal with them.
at coalition centers, you sitting here, I dare say that you are encouraging this.
No, I'm
violence.
not. I'm saying that if you become rowdy,
You have no
and you become
business
violent,
being
the
at the
police
coalition
will deal with you.
Right, coalition center.
The police will deal with you.
Ibrahim, do you agree that in our country there are flashpoints?
Oh yes.
Yes. And
Election.
some of these flashpoints require a certain level of security,
No two ways about that.
based on the assessments that are done by our security
No
people.
two ways about that.
Yeah, so, like I've said earlier, there are some places in our country of a necessity. The security people will have to put military people there as a deterrent.
Guess what?
And it doesn't matter how police are trained and how police are equipped and ready and all that. If you want to achieve that deterrence, you have to paint the picture.
Because we have created this police as your friend, and so the citizen sees the police as a fellow citizen. Even in the face of the law, even when they are accosted, they see the police. Oh, my brother, you are my brother. But the moment they see a military person, even when the person is just in a camo shop
that's the
and
problem.
walking around.
And that's the problem I'm talking
Yes,
about.
but
That
it's
is-
not,
that's the
Ibrahim, I don't want you to see it.
conscientization
Yes, I
problem.
don't want you to see it as a problem.
It is.
See, this is what I think.
It is a problem.
What I think
because
is
we
that
cannot militarize.
Okay. Yeah, so we cannot.
Yes.
But we are not militarized. What we are saying is that the reality in that location we are talking about is that if you don't deter, they will misbehave. So for the security person who is doing his analysis and wanting to prevent the misbehavior, he will say that I will deter. And it is that deterring that we now try to make it look like it is a problem, because the military are supposed to be in the barracks and you brought them out of the barracks and they are walking on the street. But the security analyst doesn't make assumptions. He's looking at the security situation and saying that, look, this is so volatile that if I don't put my men there to deter, I will have trouble. So he puts the men
This is an
there.
election. The context of a comment is an election.
Yes.
No war.
It's not war. It's
Okay.
election. We are not talking about war. But we are not talking about war at all. But I'm just saying that if I know, like I'm sitting in the security office, I'm National Security Coordinator, and I know that at GHOne police station A, in this particular area,
It's a flashpoint.
it's a flashpoint, and I have picked intelligence that the people we are suspecting are likely to behave are massing themselves to misbehave on election day, and I am doing an assessment and deploying. You say that I should bring an immigration officer who is not wielding any gun to come and be
police.
no, I'm just saying.
I get you.
In election, we deploy everybody.
Yeah.
The police and the military, and we deploy everybody. Prisons. Where I voted last election, the security man there was a prisons officer. Because it was GHOne.
Okay.
It's seen as peaceful, so it was a prisons officer. He wasn't having any gun. She was just a woman.
Yeah. That's I also work for.
Lily,
Yes.
Yes, that's where
just
I
a
wanted to.
rhetorical question.
We
We'll
have
go
move
to the
on.
next.
Yeah.
If the people don't mass up at the coalition center, will you see a heavy security presence there?
That's a rhetorical question.
Let's go.
Okay. So
It's not everywhere that the military went had people massing up. Tema West, the military were there at the coalition center. The military were there at the coalition center. Even Techiman South was not a flashpoint. The EC gave us the
But
flashpoint.
people mass up in all these places.
The point I'm making is that Techiman South was not even a flashpoint. But look at
No,
what
why
happened.
you all
People
the
died.
places you mentioned, people mass up.
gentlemen.
Look, the reason why I'm pained,
Let's-
the guy they killed at Ablekuma Central, that young man, this is a young man who, look, everybody knows a guy to be, look, the guy so respectful. The guy apparently went into police, he had to run away from police because of bullet, fear of bullet. Unfortunately, it was bullet that killed him because of this massing up.
I get you. See, the thing is that, and Reverend,
Look,
related to the fact that
us
the security
prevent them
analyst-
from massing
the
up at
security
coalition
analyst,
centers.
We'll look at the assessment and say this. A prominent security analyst, Colonel Festus Abuaje, Adam Bona,
Oh, Massa, can we go on?
Professor Kwesieni. I'm coming.
Okay.
Professor
No,
Kwesieni.
I
The point
want
I'm
to
making
move
is
on to our
that
next topic.
analysts have actually indicated that let's not.
We are all
allow the
analysts.
military-
You are an analyst.
And that's what-
analyst.
that's what- let's not allow the military to be playing the roles they are playing
They-
during
they-
elections.
They have shared
We can't
their,
do
they
without
have
them.
shared their
also
let's,
sharing your
let's,
opinion,
let's,
yes.
let's talk about Dumso. GHOne and ECG says that we're going to be experiencing Dumso for 3 months.
We are not going
3
to
weeks,
court.
yeah.
We are not going to court.
Okay, so let's do
Oh,
court.
oh,
Let's-
no, please,
because of time.
Dumso
Dumso is important for you.
is
Okay, so
important to
Dumso,
us.
I think quickly, just 1 minute. Okay, so I think that they say there's a maintenance work in Nigeria, right? And so therefore, WAPCO is announcing that there will be less gas supply from Nigeria. Government should just find money and buy crude because we have combined cycle. Our plants are combined cycle. You either use gas or you use crude. Our crude is expensive, we know, but government should just find money and buy crude. Yeah, but we should also prepare ourselves that for the next 3 weeks, you have intermittent power supply. It's as simple as that.
I also saw ECG's statement
ECG
that
agreed.
even though that is the case, they'll find a way of
Okay.
reducing the
impact.
effect, the
That's
impact. But the bottom line, government should find some money. Look, Dumso light of Charlie, it's not easy. I heard IB on a different platform talking
On
about
Morning Star.
mosquitoes,
Mosquitoes
and all that.
how
Look,
they have a field
and
day.
a field day. Look, in fact, the government will. So I say that Dumso itself does not help government.
Yeah.
Dumso in itself doesn't help government at all if he continues. So it's in the interest of government to find money to get fuel to power the generators. Dumso will not help this government, so they should be well.
I think
Dumso Simon Quine.
I think I associate myself with the comments of my two friends here. You haven't made any comments, so I cannot attribute it to you.
She will.
Well, I made my point about Dumso a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't think that Dumso is anything that anybody should be excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when the light goes off, it goes off for both those who are MPP and those who are NDC.
Sure.
And so it is not a political matter, even though in our country we have made it a political matter.
It is, actually.
Yes. So we've gotten to the place where when I hear, in fact, one of the things that I do every day is to check the price of oil on the international market. I check it because when it is going down,
I always see it on your website.
Yes. When it is going down, I'm happy. When it is going up, I'm getting sick. So it's the same for electricity. When I hear that there's going to be maintenance, so because of that, we are going to have lights off, I start crying inside me. Because the worst experience for me is when I branch off my junction at Tantra Hills and I'm driving down the rough road and I see that there's light off.
Light off, my
Like
goodness.
I start feeling depressed right
Your
from the
day is
junction.
always gone.
My evening is finished.
Finish.
Yeah, so and for people like us, we work morning, afternoon, evening, midnight. So
We need constant power supply.
yeah, exactly. So I think that the mitigating factors which the ECG says it can put in place is what we are looking
It's
for.
the money. It's just the
so
money.
that
Find the money.
that we can.
It's gas supply challenge. It's money we
money,
need. Yeah.
money.
It's a period of 3 weeks. So for the 3 weeks when they are doing the maintenance, if we can make contingency plans, you know, so far, at least in my area, the Dumso were experiencing some a month ago
Oh,
or
it's
so. It's highly
it's there,
improved.
but it is improved.
Yes.
Don't say it's there, but it's
So,
improved.
if not for anything at all, let's maintain it as it is right now
And not worsen it.
and not worsen it.
No, we want it
Hey,
over.
you want it in its current. I don't
no,
want
no,
it at
no.
all.
What he's saying is
No, I'm
that
just
it
saying
should
that
not be worse
currently,
than what we have.
currently the power is stable, at least from where I live. I haven't had lights off for the past 2 or 3 weeks or so.
The lights have been going off this week.
Yeah, it has. It
Yeah.
has.
At
My
least
area,
for the evenings that all the past 2 weeks, I think it's 2 weeks. I haven't had a lights off this in the
look,
evenings.
let the government also check the dollar. He was talking about, he was checking about the crude. It is not dependent on only the price of crude. It's also dependent on our foreign forest.
Yeah.
The dollar, the exchange rate. It is very critical.
Let's
so
quickly
let
touch on
the government fight that one.
the showdown in court, Attorney General versus
Okay.
Japa.
How many minutes do we have?
We have 5 minutes to go, so
Yeah,
let's quickly touch
so
on
I'll
it.
take 1 minute. You can take 2. So 1 minute. It's good that this played out in court. We sat here. In fact, we've been talking about this for the past 3 weeks.
Yes.
Right. And I had mentioned that we will never know the strategy of the defendant because the issue of the audio, why it was not sent to court and what have you. After all that, it's been sent to court. It was opposed by the state, the admissibility. The judge admitted it. And it was instructive to note that the judge had actually mentioned that she had detected a strategy from the team of Japa and NATO Force that it was going to be like one day, one audio, or one court sitting, one audio. So
all
One
at once.
question, one evidence.
Funny in Abra.
So there's a lump everything together, present, because indeed there are more audios, right? And yesterday in Japa's testimony during cross-examination, a number of revelations were equally made, right? And I think everybody should wait and listen to the cross-examination. It looks like Godfrey Adame has taken good counsel. Because we sat here last week specifically, I had mentioned that this could be a plea from the judge that give me the freedom to prosecute or try this case the best way I deem fit, given all the controversy surrounding your engagement with the third accused. After the last 2 court sittings, Godfrey Adame was not there, even though he had openly come out to say that despite the strong advice from the presiding judge, he will still prosecute the case. He decided to stay out. It's good.
Okay.
It's
I
good.
you said
It's
1
listen-
minute.
So I'm done. Yeah, let's see how it plays out.
Lily, the tape has been admitted. Admissibility of the tape does not mean that it will add any value to the case. We have seen it. What value or this thing, weight, is the judge going to put on this? Particularly when in the first, she said the reason why she admitted this second one, the same reason she admitted it when she was going to determine the mistrial. And if I were the defense, I would know that that case on the tape has already been determined in the first instance. If I were, because it has been determined already. So this admissibility, I don't see the lawyers, you say probative value. I don't know what the weight they will put on this admissibility, these tapes. I just hope. He was saying that we should wait for cross-examination. I just hope that Japa's testimony will not be fanciful tales at the end of these trials. They may, I just hope, they are not fanciful tales at the end of this trial, because it is not just parroting what you think you know or what you see. It is the evidence that you bring to bear that will determine your case. I have said it last time that we have witnesses who have come before court. They have made all their pronouncements. They have made all their comments. They have dramatized. They have done all manner of things. At the end of this, they will say that it was even better they did not even come before court. I hope Jata is not one of those people. Japa. Japa is not one of those. Because now he has a field day. He's writing all manner of things, ridiculous things about even respected people of Central Region. I hear there are many tapes, and so I was hearing that you actually heard something to that effect, tape. that right there. I also hope that there is no any voice manufacturing company.
The court will determine that.
Exactly. That is why when people say that a tape has been admitted, it means that the judge is saying that it is not doctored because it has been admitted. When, at what time do you determine whether a tape is doctored or not? It is not just
it'll have to go
admissibility.
through scrutiny.
And doctor, when you say something is doctored, it has a scientific meaning. Somebody will have to check, go through and see. That has not been done. So this thing about it, because it's admitted, it concludes that it's not doctored.
Okay.
It's here
Because
not
people say
doctored.
it will not be admitted. That's the point.
No.
Okay.
I have said it here that
You have to move
I have
forward.
said
Let's
it
go.
here. This tape is.
Yesterday, I sat in the court from 12 noon till a little before 4,
Wow.
listening to the whole presentation by Mr. Richard Jakwa. And just when I was leaving, a certain scripture came to my mind. And it's
Let's hear it.
Isaiah chapter 24, verse 6b. It says that, but I say, I waste away, I waste away.
Hey.
Woe is me, for the traitors have betrayed. With betrayal, the traitors have betrayed. And that's a scripture.
Preach on.
And from all indications, with the testimony that was given and all that, I see a man who probably is wounded. And it's attempting to go down with other people. Because from all indications, Justice GHOne's name was mentioned several times. And he refers to him as his cousin. And I feel betrayal.
The last time I said over trusting, and Lily didn't take kind to that.
I feel betrayal, and I feel for Justice GHOne. He's somebody that I have admired for many years. Many years. I have just admired even the sound of his voice and his law. I've just admired it. But I just feel betrayal. And I also see...
By who?
I see betrayal
by
on
who?
the side of
Jakwa.
Richard Jakwa.
Okay.
What is the relationship?
That's
He
his cousin.
refers to the justice as his cousin.
Yes.
So why are you worried?
Well, maybe I should...
Are you sure Justice Kulendi didn't know that all these things were going to be said in court by Jakwa?
Good question.
Yeah, because if you say it's a betrayal, are you sure for him as a justice of his magnitude, worth his salt, do you think his brother will go to court and admit all these things in open court, and he will not have knowledge of it?
Okay, so...
As a cousin to...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so they don't say cousin, they say brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He related to me.
I have not been appointed to speak for and on behalf of anybody in this matter. But I am just saying that I was sitting in the courtroom listening to
Lily
all
is
the...
simply saying that it may not be a betrayal.
Exactly.
It
You are
may
saying
be-
it's a betrayal.
So
because, no, Wilberforce,
Yeah.
in the instance that, okay, you're my brother or you're my cousin, and then you are coming to say something on GHOne TV. I spoke to you in the morning. You think I wouldn't know what you're going to discuss on GHOne TV?
Well,
Especially on a particular matter.
Are you sure your wife does not know the stance you are going to take on a number of the issues you're going to discuss here?
well, so yeah, you are asking very interesting questions, but I'm still entitled to my opinion and what I think, isn't it?
Betrayal.
Yeah. So I've read a scripture to you, and then I also saw a lot of politics.
That one.
And
that
the
one.
politics-
It's a whole day.
Yes, the politics of the testimony yesterday is quite riveting, and you can just tell that there was a lot of coaching.
From who?
Coaching. Oh, if you have a
The lawyer?
the lawyer.
But that's how
because-
it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So there's a
But who
coach
goes
you rather
to,
than your lawyer?
Who goes to court without coaching
yeah.
by
So
their
so
lawyer?
that's what I'm just telling you. That the reason why I'm saying all this is because there is a substantive charge, which is the charge of causing financial loss to the state.
Yeah.
The court has established a prima facie case and say that if you look at all the sides of this matter, the state has lost something. So those who were the actors involved, they should just have the opportunity to explain what their actions and inactions did to get us to where we are. The matter is so simplified.
Oh.
So if I am an accused person and the court has simplified this for me like this, when I come, the only thing I'm going to focus on is the fact that this thing that you are accusing me of is not true. Oh. I didn't do it.
That's all.
All that you are saying is not true.
That's all.
And that's because what you said I did A. No, that's not what I did. I rather did this.
That's all.
You said I caused loss. No, I didn't cause loss. I did my work well. That's what I will focus on. But all this talk, including politics of
including
insults
people can be
boards and all those things. See, I beg you.
If I were defendants in this matter, I'll stop some people from communicating on my behalf.
It is not good. It doesn't look good.
I'll stop some people from communicating.
We cannot do anything about it but to wait. See, I'll tell you what. Even in the course of this trial, Justice Sewa, when she was invited to give a ruling on mistrial and all that, he gave us 40 pages. That means that you are dealing with a very serious judge who knows her law.
Yes, she knows her onions.
Yes. So please, we will leave it to Justice Sewa on the judgment day. She will give the rule, and that is the final. Yes. You can go to Court of Appeal and appeal it, but the Court of First Instance, which is the trial court, when she delivers her judgment, you can appeal it at the Court of Appeal. If it doesn't go to your favor, you can go to the Supreme Court and appeal again. But that first Court of Instance, which is the High Court, I trust in the judge that she will deliver a fair judgment.
Okay.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. In fact, I'm tempted not to even go to the court again until Judgment Day.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. I'll see you again, usual suspects, next week. That's Wilberforce Asare. He's political editor, Sasi Radio. Audu Mahama is managing editor of the Custodian newspaper, and Ibrahim Alasan is my boss. He's the head of the political desk here at the IB Network. My name is Lily Mohammed. We are back shortly after this video. Stay tuned in.